Welcome back to my channel at The Movie Optimist, where I try and find the silver linings in even the worst of films. Tonight, I just got done watching the newest Ryan Gosling film, Project Hail Mary. And in this film, Ryan Gosling essentially plays a school teacher who was once a scientist that gets recruited by the government to essentially go up into space and figure out why the Earth is dying and all the planets around us. Along the way, he meets an alien that's also trying to save their own planet for the same reason, and they become friends and decide to team up, working together to try and stop the problem and save both their worlds. That is all I will say about this movie because there's so much behind it I don't want to spoil, but I do want to say this, guys. When I was a very little boy, I discovered my love of movies with my uncle and my grandma, and we sat down and we watched so many classics: Indiana Jones, The Shawshank Redemption, Star Wars, Batman 1989, the Christopher Reeve Superman movie, Lord of the Rings. I fell in love with, you could call it blockbusters, but really movies that just took my breath away. And while I was watching this movie, I was reminded of why I fell in love with movies in the first place. My favorite movie of all time is Inception, and I haven't said that I loved a movie as much as Inception since I've seen Dune 2, which joined my top 10 favorite movies of all time list. And I could easily sit here and say that Project Hail Mary has joined that top 10 movies of the best movies, personally, to me, that I think have ever been made. Ever. This movie really touches on the resilience of a person that, against such great odds, such hard obstacles, perseveres and doesn't give up. And for me, that is such a relatable story that's easy to get behind and to root for a character going through something like that. Because at the end of the day, Ryan Gosling is going up into space to try and save his planet, and he's afraid and he's alone, and then he meets this friend, and the movie quickly becomes a story of how sometimes you need a friend to help get you over those obstacles, and going at it alone isn't always the right way. And it becomes a story about friendship, and oh my god, the friendship that Ryan Gosling forms with this rock-like alien that he dubs Rocky because he looks like a rock is one of the most beautiful friendships I've ever seen. And I cried 3 times watching this movie because of their friendship and things that were unfolding on the screen. It does humor so well, and look, I understand humor is subjective. Something I find funny, you might not find funny, but for me, it really worked. It doesn't beat you over the head with it. It's not like you're sitting here watching a straight up comedy the whole time, but it's there to kind of lift the tone up in an otherwise very bleak movie about the end of the world because of this bacteria destroying our sun. And it puts humor in there to make it feel a little bit lighter to digest. And it blends that humor with these over-the-top epic stakes that he has to go through, the things that he's put through in this movie to try and get samples of this bacteria that's destroying the planet and send it back to Earth is remarkable. They do things like spacewalks where he goes out into space and they use this UV light to look at the bacteria that's destroying the world, and it appears red on screen, and it's just visually stunning. It's one of the most gorgeous movies I have ever seen. And again, it just blends all these different science fiction elements with the human will to persevere, with friendship, with not wanting to give up. It blends all of these things so well, and it makes a perfect concoction of just such an incredibly crowd-pleasing movie. From start to finish, I was smiling ear to ear. I was tearing up at multiple times. At the end of the movie, my whole audience stood up and cheered and clapped. It's just one of those movies. If you love movies, go and see this. Go and support this. It's easily one of the best movies I think have ever been made, and I cannot recommend this enough. I give this movie a 10 out of 10. It's perfect. I don't have one negative thing to say about it. I loved this movie from start to finish. I love that this movie exists. I love that Chris Lord and Phil Miller, or maybe I said that backwards. I love that these guys, the guys that made 21 and 22 Jump Street and Across the Spider-Verse, read this book and wanted to bring it to life. I'm so happy this exists and that one day I get to watch it over and over and over. It's just one of those movies that at the end of the day, no matter what you're going through, makes you feel good. And that is what the best possible movies are capable of doing. They're capable of making you leave the theater and want to be better. They're capable of having you enter a theater in a bad mood for something going on in your life and have you leave with a smile on your face. It's just the essence of what a great movie can do, all wrapped into one package. Again, a perfect movie. Do not walk, but run to go and see this. I hope I gave you a reason to go and see it this weekend, guys. If you've seen it already, I would love to talk about it in the comments down below. And as always, guys, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you next time.